Radhe, Radhe. So I'm on here to do another blog entry. And this blog entry is about 3 weeks into wearing orange. And I was still in Seattle and still not sure what I was supposed to be doing with myself, which was really challenging at the time. And this was the first experience I had meeting up with someone who was asking me about how I ended up on the path and in orange and talking about Krishna. So it was really nice, this experience in this blog entry I'd wrote about. So here we go. Blog entry 134 from 9/27 of 2024. I'm going to keep focusing on meeting people and spending time in this specific area of Seattle. Yesterday I had my first experience of connecting with someone randomly at a tire store and talking about Krishna and how I ended up wearing orange. I'm not sure if I'll hear from that person again, but it felt really good to talk about Krishna with someone. There's something quite joyful in seeing a spark of recognition or curiosity in another person's eyes, even if the conversation is brief. It's hard to imagine that my life could simply be walking around talking about Krishna and having everything work out, yet from what I can feel, that seems to be the direction everything is heading. I noticed that each small interaction plants a seed both in the other person and within myself, deepening my own devotion. Every conversation, every smile, every moment of presence becomes a step on this journey. Even when the outcomes are uncertain, there's a subtle reassurance that Krishna is guiding the process. It's a lesson in patience, faith, and surrender, trusting that the connections that matter will unfold in the right time, and I am exactly where I need to be to continue learning and growing in devotion. So this was really interesting. At this time on my journey, Krishna would fill my meditation with like blue light, and Krishna was just like there with me so much, sort of external, more so. And it was like a bubble that was with me all the time. So everywhere I went, I didn't really feel any of the uncomfortableness. So if I went into temples and people might chuckle or not, or whatever they're thinking or talking about or saying, I couldn't feel it. Like I just felt safe and protected and warm and loved from Krishna. And so no matter what the setting was, I didn't feel any harshness, which was really cool. But in connecting with people, it was challenging because I hadn't figured out my style and way of connecting with people to talk about Krishna. So when I'd venture into temples and things like that, I would have a hard time connecting just because I didn't really know the protocol and what someone in orange should do in that type of setting. It was really challenging in that way. So I kind of just sort of stopped, and I would still go. At first, I started not to go. And Radha and Krishna in meditation, they said, those are our people too, and you're going to go. So I was like, okay. So I kept going, and I still do. And in going, I kind of stopped trying to connect and interact. I would just go and be present. And what Radha and Krishna is with me would get to be with the people in the place and do whatever Radha and Krishna wanted to do in that space. Being a vehicle of Radha and Krishna, you start to know less and less what's all's going on, because Radha and Krishna do it. They do everything. So they provide everything, they bring everything, and they'll put you in the spots they want you to be so they can do whatever they wish to do. Sometimes it can be some of their presence with you as their vehicle will jump off to another person who needs them in that moment and goes with them to help heal and protect and support them. And you won't really know about that. You'll just be where Radha and Krishna want you to be. And so I was really wondering on this other aspect of this, like how to connect and what to do in that sort of way. Because it's one thing just to show up and Radha and Krishna do everything, but you kind of feel like you should talk or do something, even though you don't really have to. But I was really wanting to start understanding how to connect. And in this blog post, this fellow at the tire store, he was one of the first people that I spoke with after I was wearing orange, and I was able to connect with some and talk about Krishna some. And it was really nice because it was Krishna showing me that it was coming, but it just wasn't time. Another really interesting thing is right now, being back in this exact same place a full year later and more integrated with more of an idea of what I should be doing. Still not perfect, but more of an idea of what I should be doing. It feels so differently because everything feels familiar. Like everybody around me feels familiar, like I know them. Like it's one small town and I know everybody. And that's totally Krishna and Radha and their soul that I'm feeling. Where before, I was in this giant bubble of Krishna energy and I couldn't feel any discomfort or any worry or anything like that, but it didn't feel anything like it does now. Now it's like I know everybody. There's even plants. I feel familiar with the soul that are in the plants. I can see the Krishna and the Radha and the soul that's in that plant or in the person. It's just wild. Yeah. It's so different. And everywhere feels like home. My teacher originally, he said, whenever you get to where you're supposed to be, it feels like home. And then it's time to go to the next place. And then when you get there, it feels like home. And he's so right. And then that feeling seems to expand and grow even more, where everything feels like home and everybody and everything feel familiar. So it's amazing. And some souls I feel more in depth than others, and some I remember from past lives more so than others. It's really wild, just the different layers of everything going on simultaneously at this point. It's really interesting. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, well, that's it for today. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following along. I appreciate your support. I would just touch base quick. There is a music album that just came out, Bhakti Yoga Monk. It's on all the streaming platforms. So Bhakti Yoga Monk, all one word, just like the YouTube channel. And there'll be a book coming out soon. Should be out about any day. Bhakti, the Art of Loving God. So keep an eye out for that as well. And thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. And Radhe, 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 Radhe. Radhe, Radhe. Radhe, Radhe.